am so annoyed right now. I just filmed this entire unboxing and I was doing it from like the, above the cards perspective. So you guys could get a really good look at these. And I don't know what's going on, but both of my phones will not let me do anything. They are just telling me I'm out of memory. And I've literally deleted every app, every video. I've deleted everything that I can. I've got one Samsung and one iPhone. So I don't know, is anybody else going through this right now? Like, what are they trying to do? I feel like they're just trying to get me to buy a new phone. And that's really annoying because I'm trying to avoid buying a 5G phone, which I know is probably stupid because I'm going to be exposed to the 5G regardless. So irritated. It was such a good unboxing. And you just can't recreate something. And then, so what happened basically is I recorded it on my work phone, which is an iPhone. And there were some times where, of course, my dog's working or whatever. So I wanted to make it into iMovie so that I could like edit some pieces out and such. So I edited it to iMovie, but iMovie wouldn't let me export it so that I could upload it to YouTube because it said I didn't have enough memory. So after going through and literally trying to delete every single app and picture and video that I wasn't using, and it still wouldn't give me enough space, I thought, okay, well, I already have it uploaded in iMovie, so I'll just delete those 2 videos that I was putting together. I'll delete those because I already have it on iMovie, and that'll give me the room to export it. No, when I deleted them from my gallery, then it made them not be able to work in iMovie. So now they're gone forever, and I don't think I have an iCloud set up. Oh, you guys. Plus today is just hard. I'm trying to get motivated to work. I don't feel great. Energy's heavy. The energy is so heavy. But this deck is so amazing. And so I want to talk to you guys about it. So I've already unboxed it now, but here it is. So this is called the Auset Egyptian Oracle cards. And I was actually looking for a different deck that I posted in Oracle Obsessed 2 days ago saying that it was on pre-order on Amazon. I don't even know how any of these came into my realm of existence or like knowledge, but I was looking for one and it's on pre-order still on Amazon. I did post that on Oracle Obsessed, but while I was looking for that one, this one came up. So I went ahead and ordered this one. And the one that's on pre-order, I went ahead and did what I always do, which is go check bookdepository.com, because a lot of times they will release certain books and decks to Europe, to the European market, before they will release them here. That's how I got like my Labyrinth Tarot, my Disney Tarot, a couple other ones. I ended up getting like really the Yule Oracle. Anyway, so tired now. You can usually get them a couple weeks before they get launched here because I don't think it's going to be available here till like June or July. I will unbox that one when I get it. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it is something similar. And so I've already unboxed this. I've already shuffled some of the cards because I was literally getting ready to dedicate it with frankincense, which is what they recommend in the book, the guidebook, when I realized that I just deleted the entire thing and I have to reshoot the video. And normally I would just say F it and give up and not really care. But this deck blew me away, and it's been a long time since any deck has blown me away, let alone an Oracle deck. So we're going to talk about it. You can tell I've already like dug into the guidebook so much that it's already bent. So the cards are probably going to be out of order a little bit. I'm going to know a lot more because I've already done this, but it's a 44 card deck and guidebook. It says Ancient Egyptian Divination and Alchemy cards. Okay. These 44 cards and guidebook give you access to the magical powers and sacred wisdom of Auset, Mother Goddess of Healing and Prophecy, also known as Isis, who is the most loved of all Egyptian goddesses. Auset has imbued these cards with her divine intuition, so you will always find them highly accurate and reliable for personal and professional readings. All the major gods and goddesses of ancient Egypt also offer their wisdom and guidance to you through the beautiful artwork of renowned spiritual artist Marie Clement and the spiritually inspired writings of Elizabeth Jensen, international teacher of Auset temple healing, plus triple award-winning psychic. And I'm going to be definitely looking into her because the guidebook is just the information in here has blown me away. And so I'm going to be looking into who that is and joining her group. But I was saying that what has sparked this whole like Egyptian like thing that I'm on is I had a second session of quantum healing hypnosis in January. For those of you guys who are listening to my lives when I do them, I've talked about this a couple times. I did a second session of quantum healing hypnosis in January, although I never listened to the recording until a month ago. And the reason was because my fucking phone was full and I needed to free up room in my phone. So I was trying to delete anything and everything that I could. And the audio recording of that was on there. And I was like, well, I better listen to it before I delete it, because I'm just such a skeptic. Even though I'm into all things woo-woo, I am always so skeptical. And if you've had quantum healing hypnosis, let me know down below. You don't leave feeling like you were super hypnotizing. You feel like you remember everything that you've said, even though I promise you don't. So I just get in my ego a little bit. And I didn't want to listen to it because I just thought it was worthless and I was disappointed in the session and etc., which is exactly what happened to the first session. So anyway, I finally listened to it and I basically have this past life where I look down and they tell you to look at your legs, and I was black, but not like ethnic, not like dark brown or brown, like black, like obsidian, like opaque black. And I was very large and I felt very non-human. And I was holding a staff. I couldn't see my face, but I felt like I was Anubis. And I felt like I was guarding something. And I felt like I was there as almost like sorry, you guys, I'm always messing with my hair on these live videos. I felt like it was the future and the past simultaneously. Like, we're taught that this is the past, but really it's going to be the future. And I don't know how we could know those things, but I can't explain it to you. It was a feeling of it being familiar and like it's already happened, but like it's getting ready to happen again. That's the best that I could say. So, anyway, then I start to remember when I had my first session of quantum healing hypnosis, which was about 4 years ago or more. I had the sensation that I was being buried alive, and it was very traumatic, and I was crying very hard, and I didn't really get a whole lot else out of that session because it was really traumatic. And I left that session just feeling like, whoa, what the hell was that? And I didn't really understand it. And then after I took my Karuna Reiki, because I've done Reiki for 4 or 5 years now, but I did Karuna Reiki in the summer of 2020. August of 2020. And Karuna Reiki is a little bit more associated with past life energy and such. And I'm just trying to be like semi presentable here. I bought a book, a really old Reiki book from an author named Kathleen Milner. And in that book, she's explaining how basically the sarcophagus wasn't a tomb or a coffin, but it was a tool used to initiate different priests and high priestesses. And you would basically, it was like a test. It was like the master test. So the initiate would study and practice and get to a certain point, and then they'd be like, basically like, I'm ready for the test, where you would be put in the sarcophagus. And if you look at the pyramids, they have these chambers which are too small for any human to ever get in, and like nobody knows what they are for. And essentially those were the tiny little air just to let just enough oxygen into the tomb. And then you would be in the sarcophagus, and you were supposed to be able to get yourself into such a state of meditation that you were basically essentially dead for 3 days. And I think part of like the whole resurrection story has to do with this initiation that used to go through. But anyway, for 3 days, they would leave you there. And as long as you stayed in that state of deep, deep meditation and you didn't panic, and you would live, they would come back in 3 days. And if you lived, then you passed the test, and you were now given other knowledge or, whatever, you advanced. But if they came back in 3 days and you didn't, then you were dead, basically. And then they would mummify your body and whatever, and, et cetera, so that's what we think of when we think of mummies. The people that were found in the sarcophagus were likely people that were being initiated into high priest or high priestess type roles. So anyway, that happened in my first session. My second session, I was basically Anubis. So I just have been feeling this pull towards Egyptian gods and goddesses and mythology. So here we are. Here's this deck, and let's start going through it. And like I said, it's out of order because I was just getting ready to dedicate it, as I do all of my tarot and oracle decks. But I went ahead and cracked open for a few things, and I was reading these on the video that you guys would have been able to see, but we were just kind of reading through her recommendations of how to use the cards and how to get them ready. And she says, which is Elizabeth Jensen, it just says, before you use the cards for the first time, it is a good idea to clear the cards energetically and infuse them with your own energy and intentions. To do this, drop some therapeutic grade frankincense, which I personally use doTERRA, on your hands, rub them together, and then basically, shuffle the cards and infuse the cards with the essential oil and your intentions, which is such a great idea. And actually, I did this 2 weeks ago with a deck. Beautiful Asia had sent me a whole rose themed box, and I haven't gone through everything, but there was the rose oracle from Rebecca Campbell was in there. So I thought, well, I'll get some rose essential oil out and dedicate it that way. And as I was shuffling the cards with this essential oil on them, a card flipped out, and it was the anoint card, which I didn't even know there was an anoint card. And that's what I was doing, was anointing them with the rose oil. It was really crazy. So anyway, if you're trying to get away from using so much white sage for, there's multiple reasons why people are trying to avoid that. It's being overfarmed, it's being overused, cultural, appropriation, if that's a thing that you're trying to be mindful of. There's a lot of different options to where you can choose to use other things, and essential oils are a really good thing. So she recommends frankincense, and I think that that's amazing. So I will be doing that after this video. So drop some of their therapeutic grade frankincense essential oil to the palms of your hands, rub them together, then shuffle the cards for a few minutes, visualizing white light coming from your hands. Release any excess energy from your hands. Your cards will smell divine and be purified as well. Good quality frankincense can be used as well, like in terms of, instead of essential oil, like a frankincense resin that you could put on like a charcoal and burn it, and like you could pass the cards through the frankincense resin as well, which I do also have. She also suggests sleeping with the cards under your pillow at night. It's a good way to connect with the divinities in your dreams and further infuse them with your energy. The more familiar you are with the cards by reading the guidebook carefully and by giving yourself daily readings, the more you will trust the cards and find them remarkably accurate. In ancient Egypt, divination was regarded as a sacred science and was mainly the role of the temple priests and priestesses. The Auset, or also known as Isis temple on the River Nile, was famous for its prophecy readings. They were given by means of scrying, gazing into crystal, which they would describe, they would get a crystal bowl and put water in it and put some essential oil in it, which we talked about on a different page. But again, you guys are never going to see that video. Into a crystal bowl of water using hieroglyphic symbols written on papyrus leaves. And then today we can combine the use of clear quartz crystal balls, as well as the Auset cards here could be used for a similar process. We're talking about divination, right? It's best to take some time to quiet your mind before giving yourself a reading, and do it when you are relaxed. Shuffle the cards and say a prayer to the goddess Auset or any other Egyptian divinity that you are connecting with, and ask for their protection and guidance as you receive their wisdom. Simple spreads work best with these cards, as there is a lot of information available to you when you connect to the divinities in meditation. It's best to not let any other person touch your cards to avoid confusing energies affecting their accuracy. Plus, it's a sign of respect to goddess Auset. So that's just a little bit of the initiation, which I will be doing after I finish this second recording, which I can only assume is going to be faster. The other one I think was going to be about 50 minutes. This one should go faster because now I'm already familiar with the cards. Okay, so they're out of order. Looks like we're starting with the number 11 card, which is the Giza Plateau, which represents the sacred journey. Now, these are the pyramids at Giza that are aligned with Orion's belt and the Sirius star system. So they have certain conjunctions, which I think that happens on the 21st of December. The winter solstice, I believe, is when these line up with that star system. So that is the sacred journey. Love that. I want to go to Egypt. That is definitely on my bucket list. The backs of the cards show this beautiful blue lotus on the bottom. And then on top, you can see the gold and the hieroglyphs. The blue lotus is known for increasing consciousness and enlightenment and helping to open and decalcify the third eye. I know that I have been seeing quite a bit of people selling different blue lotus tinctures and concoctions on Instagram and TikTok. I haven't tried one, but I would be interested in one. If anybody has tried one and can recommend one, let me know. The 12th card, the Great Pyramid, Mystery and Ceremony. So this is the Great Pyramid. You can see here the Eyes of Ra up top, or the Eyes of Horus. Sorry. I think that's the Eyes of Horus. Then we have the 15th card, Happy. So these were, when I first pulled the first one, which was actually the Earth one, I was like, those look like the urns that they put the organs in. So I went ahead and looked up in the book, and sure enough, they are. But I didn't know this. There's 4 of them. They would have 4 of these urns, one for earth, water, spirit, and fire. Or spirit is air. So earth, water, air, and fire. And then the certain organs that were apparently associated with those elements would go into the appropriate urn. Although they don't call it an urn, they call it a copy or something. Canopic jar. They call it a canopic jar. The first one that we had gotten to was number 9 because it's the earth one, which was Damotef. Now, I'm not probably pronouncing some of these correctly. Damotef, which was the earth spirit. But this one is Happy, the water spirit. And try to guess what organs you think would go with the water spirit, because I was definitely wrong. They were not at all what I thought would go with the water spirit. Number 13. I guess I would think the organs associated with water would be maybe the heart, just because we think about feelings and emotions with water and it pumps the blood. But in the book, it says that Hapi, which represents the god of the East, and he's the baboon-headed god, and he is another of the 4 disciples of Horus, which are the 4 containers. And this says, I am Happy, the god of the East, and you see me sitting by a canopic jar, which held the lungs. So this held the lungs. The water spirit was the lungs, which I would think the lungs would have been the air spirit, but what do I know? So that's Happy. Next we have Hathor. Hathor is the goddess of love and music, but she's so much more than that. And I was sharing that I really was never really knew much about Hathor until I was reading the Sophia Codes. If you haven't read the Sophia Codes or also listened, I've been listening on, I have the Audible book as well. So because there's these ignitions or initiations, so they're really nice to be able to listen to. So you can basically do the meditation or the initiation along with it, which the Sophia Codes are ignitions or initiations from all different goddesses: Hathor, Isis, I think Kali, Green Tara, Kuan Yin. Who else? I haven't quite finished it yet. I'm almost finished. I think I have only like 2 or 3 chapters left. So anyway, it's a really great book. The Sophia Codes, definitely recommend if you're wanting to get in touch with your divine feminine or goddess energy. But when I listened to the Hathor one, I was like, wow, I had no idea that she was such a powerful and magical goddess. I wish I could get it to focus a little bit better. But That's why I was trying to use my camera so I could get a better overhead shot of each of the cards, but whatever. So Hathor is the goddess of love and music and so much more. I would say healing as well. But this deck, I can tell because I've gone through it all now, it's a really good deck for healing. You know, really that's what alchemy is. Alchemy is transmuting anything low vibrational and transmuting it to a higher vibration. Okay, next we have Horus, which is the slow victory. Horus, the god of the slow victory. The Horus Baroque, which that looks like one of those things that they would maybe carry a god or king or queen in, you know. What I like about the guidebook is that also it gives you, if you're a person that likes to use the guidebook for a little bit, it gives you, hold on, let me go to this. Number 16, Horus Baroque. It'll give you a card meaning for money or abundance, love, work, career, travel, family, and the future. So depending on what type of reading you're doing, it's going to give you really specific information for that, which I think is awesome. Let's read the energy of number 16, Horus Baroque, or Sacred Union. So the Temple of Dendera is a shrine to the goddess Hathor, and her consort Horus is at Edfu Temple. Edfu Temple, where within the inner temple is a solar Baroque, or Barku? I don't know, you guys. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Barku? A solar Barku or boat. Each year, there was an immense festival with pilgrimages to and from both temples on the River Nile. The solar bark, I'm just going to call it a bark. The solar bark holding a statue of Horus as he traveled to meet his wife Hathor at Dendera so that they could have a sacred marriage. The channel message from this card is, see my solar bark that carries me to my wife Hathor, so we may have spiritual and sacred marriages. This was a union made in heaven, and we wish to have this union of body and spirit. Also, so I am preparing the way. In ancient days, the priestess worked constantly with energy, prayers, and spells to bring balance first to the temple and then balance and harmony to all of Egypt. We are asking you to do more spiritual work to restore balance in your love life. So if you were doing a love reading and you received this card, specifically, it would mean seek coaching for difficulties here and study yoga or tantra together as you bring the sacred into your relationship. Your divine star soulmate is here. So that would be an amazing card for love. Now, let's say you were looking into your future, just as a general future reading, then it would represent some difficulties with people around you are best solved with humor. So anyway, it's just a really cool deck. Emotep, I was saying, is a really important card. I learned about Emotep through kind of the little bit of, learning and reading and research that I've been doing about real sky astrology, which if you want to know more about that, I suggest that you follow Rochelle at Amethyst Ascension. She's worked closely and done a lot of study with Julie Kachia Watts, who is the one who's really the creator of Real Sky. Real Sky would be compared to true sidereal astrology. But anyway, Emotep, if I'm getting this correctly, I believe Emotep is like the 13th sign, like similar to the energy of Ophiuchus. I think Ophiuchus is Emotep. I happen to have my Real Sky book right here. I don't know if I can quickly look and find any information about Emotep, but that was the first time I ever heard anything about that character. Maybe it was also in the, it could also be in her Ma'at Tarot. The Ma'at Tarot was more classic astrology. I want to give you guys correct information, but I also don't want to take all day to find it. Let's see if we can find Emotep. Maybe it was in the first Ma'at Tarot, not this one. So I could be completely wrong about that. But I know I learned the word or the god Imhotep from something to do with Julie Kachia Watts. Let's read in the guidebook what they have to say about Imhotep, number 17. Imhotep, temple healing. Imhotep is the god of healing and medicine, a great sage who was originally human and known as a skilled physician, healer, and architect, and later deified 2,000 years after his death. Imhotep was the architect of the sound and sleep healing temple of Saqqara, where many people later came to worship at his tomb in search of healing. The channeled message from Imhotep: Dear one, I am even more than you write about me for. I existed countless years in human form. I was an alchemist, and together with Tahuti, I knew the secrets of entering the halls of Amenti for healing and rejuvenation. Call on me for trance healing, and I will be there for you always. And the halls of Amenti, you will know through the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, which, if you haven't never read or listened to 10 out of 10, you can find 20 different versions of the audiobook here on YouTube for free. Emerald Tablets of Thoth. And that's funny because this morning I felt called to work with my Amenti Oracle, which 10 out of 10 also recommend this Oracle card. And you can see on the backs of that Oracle, you can see the scales of Ma'at. I'm feeling very much Ma'at pulling me right now with this full moon and in Libra on Saturday. The scales of justice, right? So, the halls of Amenti, Emerald Tablets of Thoth, listen to it. And then once you've listened to it several times, I bought the book recently and I've been reading it out loud, and oh my God, it's so powerful. It brings me to tears. Like literally, I'll just read like 1 or 2 pages and it's just like so powerful. Here's Imset, the air spirit. So this is another one of those urns that would have been used to hold the organs. This was a god that I had never heard of. Khnum. Looks like he's like a ram head. And he is the creator god. Then we have Ma'at herself, beautiful Ma'at. So she would have been the goddess where, I believe, again, you guys, I'm not like an expert here and I haven't been studying ancient mythology or Egyptian mythology that long. I was more, for like the past 20 years, always into more Hindu Vedic gods and goddesses through yoga and meditation and Ayurveda and etc. So anyway, Ma'at, as I understand it, first you would go to Anubis, you would die, and then you would go to Anubis and you would pay Anubis. You'd need to have gold or some kind of riches to pay Anubis to get on the boat to go across the river. Then you would meet Ma'at, who has the scales, and you would weigh your heart against the weight of the feather. So she is the goddess of truth and justice, cosmic justice. Min is the fertility and creation god. Wow, I did not notice this the first time, but look at that phallus that he has. He's pitching a little bit of a tent here. This camera, what I like about it is it shows you guys the right way so you can read it, but it's backwards to me, so I never know where I'm pointing. But look at his schlong there, which is representative of the obelisk. That's what obelisks are, the very masculine representation of masculine energy or yang energy. Nefertum, renewal and rebirth. Nefertum. And you can see, again, the blue lotus, very, very prominent throughout this deck. Nekhbet of protection. Was not familiar with Nekhbet, so I'll have to do a little bit of research on her. Let's go ahead and read about Nekhbet, number 23. So after this, after I get the next one that's coming from Book Depository next week, I'll probably unbox that separately, and then I think I will do a haul of all my Egyptian themed decks, Oracle and Tarot. And I've been wanting to show you guys my little Egyptians that I'm collecting that are up here on that shelf, and I've gotten most of all of them. I think there's only 1 or 2 more coming. They're so adorable. Okay, so we're talking about Nekbet. This reminds me, when you look at the image, it kind of reminds me more of a Assyrian god, or like the Anunnaki a little bit. 23, Nekbet. This goddess has the vulture as her symbol, and she is closely associated with Mut, the vulture goddess. She is said to have existed from the beginning of time and be the creatrix of the world. They use that word creatrix so often in the Sophia Code. And I didn't know that was like a real word. So the Sophia Code is a woman who channeled Sophia, which Sophia is basically the female mother goddess, I think. Or is she somehow associated with Jesus, like not Mother Mary, but Mary Magdalene? But somehow they're separate because okay, this is what it was. Sophia was a healer in the time of Jesus, and she used to go and work alongside Jesus, I'm pretty sure. Even though I've been reading the book, I didn't read it straight through, and I've mostly been doing the meditations. So anyway, this is why we're Rhiannon Rambles. You guys know I'm always going to be all over the place, but hopefully you're always going to get something valuable. Okay, so she is said to have existed from the beginning of time and be the creatrix of the world. And in the Duat, or underworld, she watches over the dead, waiting to transform their eyes into brilliant light. Wearing the white crown of the south, she is a protective goddess who is important in religious rituals and brings clear-sightedness to those working with spiritual principles. The channeled message from Nekbet is, I wait and I pray over you, so you awake with clear thinking and clear eyes. Never fear me, for I am simply waiting for you to bring your plans to success. And as you are tested, I rejoice in your success. Your enemies will be defeated if they do you wrong. Excuse me, get out of the garbage, sir. Get out of the garbage. Get out of the garbage. Your enemies will be defeated if they do you wrong, for that is why I have the Eye of Ra on my head. See me as a protector of those with strong spiritual principles. Well, I know somebody that could use some Nekbet right now, but I will definitely be working with, like I said, Mott and the energies of truth and justice and karma and balance, because there's some people that we all know. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. But if you want to start shit, you better know that you're coming from a place of truth, because you will reap what you sow. And I am confident that all things will be handled. Okay, so next up we have Nephthys, soul healing, the goddess of soul healing. Not super familiar with her either, but I'm just loving this whole lapis vibe. And you guys have probably heard me talk about like the paint that I chose for my bookshelf. I was just like, I want that deep Egyptian blue. They used to crush up lapis lazuli. And then I went into Lowe's looking for paint. And the paint that I found was called double lapis. And I just can't get over it. And it's so amazing. And I've got some lapis lazuli here. I've got a little lapis lazuli generator and a lapis little pyramid here. And my beautiful friend Asia also gifted me with these lapis runes, which I'm not yet studying because I have so many other things. But when I get ready to dive into runes, I've got this beautiful set of lapis lazuli runes. Okay, the Nile River, which is, of course, a flow of abundance. Now, when I was in that past life as Anubis and I was standing at the river, I remembered it being dried up. And like I said, I felt like I was in more of a energy of being some type of guard or protector. So I don't know if I was keeping people in or keeping people out, but I know that I was standing next to a riverbed, but it was dried up. And I'm assuming that it was the Nile, but I guess it could have been, what's the other river that is there? It's on the tip of my tongue. Euphrates. Next up, Nut, which I love, although I don't know why, because so Nut, the goddess of the stars and timing, and I'll just show you one of the little Egyptians that is up here, because she's kind of like my favorite little Egyptian, because like, look at her, she looks like she's in little jammies. That's Nut. Isn't she so cute? Look at her little jammies. So I just love Newt. But the thing is, that's interesting is Newt is technically the firmament. She's technically the matrix because she's the reason that she's like this over the sky. So she is the firmament. And that is time and space. Without Newt, without the firmament, without time and space, we'd be free from the matrix. So I don't know why I love her so much when really that's what keeps us on this timeline, right? Newt 26. This is spelled with an I, but I've also seen her spelled just with like N-U-T, Newt or Newt. Stars and timing. Nut is the primal mother goddess whose body is the arching star-flecked sky. She was separated from her husband, the earth, god Geb, so humans could live on earth. Her father, the sun god Ra, forbade her to give birth to her 5 children, Auset, Osiris, Nephthys, Horus, and Set. But Tahuti gambled with the moon god Khonsu for 5 extra days so this could occur. Newt symbolizes the separations and delays, but eventual success by divine intervention. The channeled message from Newt is, I am the goddess of the day sky and the starry night. I am the mother of Auset and all of Egypt, and I tell you the answers you seek. And I tell you the answers you seek are to be found in numerology, astrology, and the correct timing of events. Be patient with your fate for now and ask for divine intervention from myself and Tahuti, which Tahuti is Thoth. Tahuti is the other name for Thoth, the goddess of the Akashic records and knowledge and magic. For myself and Tahuti to allow you what you sincerely seek. Okay. We have Osiris, the god of heavenly messages. We have Ptah, the god of alchemy and creation. That's one of the little Egyptians I don't have yet that I need to order. I'm going to skip some of these. The Temple of Auset, or the Auset Temple, which is the sacred ceremony card. Auset, which is like the feline or cat goddess. The blue lotus, of course, enlightenment. The cobra, the divine awakening. So, AKA Kundalini. Hey, sir, no, we're not doing that. We're not whining. Another one of the urns. This was the earth spirit urn, which held the earth ones were not the intestines, but I think like the stomach. Geb, which was that earthly god they were just talking about with Newt. So this is Newt up here. And then here on the earth is Geb. Sarcophagus, which even on the sarcophagus, it doesn't say coffin. It doesn't say death. It says initiation. Because the sarcophagus was used for initiation, which was what I was telling you guys in the beginning, which is how I died. I suffocated to death because I wasn't ready, apparently. Satis, fertility and satisfaction, the goddess. The scarab, which I love the imagery of the scarab. I just love it. Spiritual transformation. Scrying. Sekhmet, so she's the lion goddess of change and healing. Selket, the magical protection goddess. I'm definitely going to be working with her. Set. So Set is known kind of as their like adversary or devil or whatever, because sun, which is Ra, so the sun would rise, which they would be like, that gives life. And then when the sun sets, that's what takes life away. So Set is challenges. Then we have Sashida, creating and creative writing. Looks like she's got very much like panther or cougar type energy. Sashida, was not familiar with her. But you guys, this is the card that blew me away. It literally blew me away. I was not expecting it. I've never seen anything like it. And you know how when you see something or something comes within your awareness for the first time and you have like a visceral knowing that this is something like that you knew or know or is part of you, but you didn't know it till it came to you. This card right here, I'm going to tell you what it is before I turn it around. It's called the Syrian Star or Star Blessings. What? Excuse me, what? And I am pretty sure I'm an Arcturian, but like I do have a connection to Sirius as well. But when I seen this card, I was like, I know that. That is familiar. This is something that I know. And it almost gave me like a little bit of fear, but a good fear, the kind of fear that you know when something comes into your life that's going to change you forever. I can't explain it. This card is that. And it's so different from any of these other gods. It's just crazy. So I had read this the first time. I'm going to read it again. Number 39. So Syrian Star Blessings. Syrian Star is one of the white light beings that travels from the star Sirius to the Great Pyramid to use it as a portal for entry on this earth plane. The white light beings follow the path of the Syrian goddesses in the past who spent time as earth people before becoming divine. Returning the soul energy through the Queen's Auset chamber in the Great Pyramid to Sirius after physical death is part of the purpose of that chamber of rebirth into higher consciousness. Syrian Star is actually a guide for myself, and this is in the wording of Elizabeth Jensen. So, like I said, Elizabeth Jensen, I'm coming for you. I'm so excited to learn. I just resonate so deeply with this deck and with this card specifically. And I'm just so excited to Google her. If she has any books, I will be buying them today. I will be diving deep. Anybody else who's familiar with her, please leave some comments down below. But just tell me that card doesn't shook you. Doesn't make you shooketh. Just crazy. Okay, then we have Sobek, which is the crocodile god of rest and endings. The Sphinx, silent wisdom. Taret, which is the hippo goddess of pregnancy and birth. Oh, she's so cute. Ushubudus. Ushubudus. Or Ushubudus. Seek assistance. I didn't look this one up last time. I'm going to. It's the 44th card. So I feel like it must be. There is a picture of Marie Clement. Which her last name reminds me of Gustav Clement, which is like an artist, and he paints one of my most favorite paintings. About the author Elizabeth Jensen. Elizabeth was a registered nurse, midwife, community health nurse, and addictions counselor before many personal health challenges started her on her spiritual healing path. Now, Elizabeth is a triple award-winning psychic and was voted Australian, so she's from Australia. So, let me know, any of my Australian followers, if you guys are familiar with her. Now, Elizabeth is a triple award-winning psychic and was voted Australian Psychic of the Year in 2010. 25 years of giving psychic readings led her to write these oracle cards. Following on from her first card set, Isis Lotus Oracle cards. I'm going to have to look for those too, which have been regarded as unique in their specific and detailed accuracy when giving readings. Elizabeth has taught her Angel Miracles, Psychic, and Auset Temple healing courses worldwide, and now focuses on teaching in Adelaide and Melbourne, plus in Singapore. As a founder of Isis Lotus Healing, now known as Auset Healing, she is also widely recognized as a powerful and effective spiritual healer, hypnotherapist, and trance channel for many archangels and divinities. Elizabeth channeled all the messages and card meanings for each divinity in this book after first ensuring the traditional meaning of each one was represented correctly in its depiction or description. Personal Auset psychic readings plus karmic release and healings and courses are available from Elizabeth and the practitioners and teachers trained by her. For more information about Elizabeth Jensen, please go online, and I will be. And she was saying, which I don't think I read this time, but I read the first time I unboxed it, that, Isis is Auset, but that Auset had come through in one of her channelings and had said that she doesn't want to be referred to as Isis anymore. She wants to be referred to as her original name, which is Auset. So that's why she even changed the name of her business, which was kind of a pain in the ass for her. And she tried to avoid it for a little bit. Kind of reminded me when Julie was talking about when she first got the download to start studying real sky astrology, and of course was resistant and reluctant because you don't want to have to throw away all of your knowledge and start over, but she just knew that she had to. So that's the thing. Okay, Amun Ra, Miracle Creation. Of course, Auset, Alchemy and Healing, aka Isis. Which, because I showed you guys Newt, I better show you guys Isis too. Look how cute she is. This is our little Auset Isis Egyptian. They're so cute. Tahuti, which is aka Thoth, which I actually want to call her Tahuti now. Like, I didn't know, and I've read the Emerald Tablets. I know that he's also called Hermes Trismegistus, Thrice Great, all the names, Thoth or Thoth, or, you know, kind of like tomato. But I didn't note that Tahuti was another name for him. So I just feel very in resonance with that name for him, Tahuti. So of course we're going to read about Tahuti, which I got to show you Tahuti now too. Tahuti is... Look at Tahuti. Oh my God, they're so cute. And you guys, I'm usually not into like little like tchotchkes or collectibles, but I just literally cannot stand how cute they are. Okay, Tahuti, Akashic Records. Depicted with the head of an ibis bird, Tahuti himself has a strong sense of cosmic humor, despite being the god of magic, wisdom, and alchemy. It was always Tahuti who devised an amazing plan to save all the ancient gods and goddesses in difficult situations. Likewise, as keeper of your soul or Akashic records, Tahuti can consult them for insight, then clear them if needed through the benevolence of Auset and Ma'at and the karmic release process. The channeled message from Tahuti is, I am Thoth, or Tahuti, also known as Hermes, the thrice born. Invoke me to see your Akashic records, for this is where the block is, and I can assist you to release this karma now by your request to me. I am a Time Lord, keeper of your soul's records, and I saw you as you were judged in ancient days. Now, I hand this role back to you, for humanity must be responsible for themselves, with just some small assistance from above and below, myself, Tahuti. I love it! You guys, I just love this deck so much. Was not expecting to connect with it so strongly. Like, I thought I would like it, but I'm just, like, blown away. Here we have Anubis, the Guide and Protector. And I did feel like I was a protector. I felt like I was a guard. The Ankh, Energy Healing. And Ra, Creative Power. So that is the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions. Maybe I'll film a little quick 1-minute reel, like of a close-up of each card, and post that on my Instagram, since we weren't able to see them as clearly as I wanted to. This card still just blows my mind. I'm going to definitely be doing some more research on him. So yeah, you guys, I hope you enjoyed that. And now I'm going to quit dicking around and go to work and make some money today. So see you guys next time. Bye.